Game of the Final Judgment, Awakening of the Neopening. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 251 The Way Out of Difficulty. The 8th level president of the beautiful country hadn't finished speaking when his forehead was pierced by a modeled energy sword, and his blood volume was almost wiped out. This is Deng Fengwu's 6th Meridian's Excalibur. The contract blood god cannot be killed, and these other players can still be easily killed. Instead of being angry, the enemy smiled and said, "It doesn't matter, anyway, Zhao Yuan is doomed. The blood god has no solution. No matter how hard he struggles, he can only delay the time of death. Zhao Yuan will be forcibly slaughtered to level 0. At that time, the contracted blood god will start the death graft and lock the next target. After those of us die, we will also provide blood energy to the contracted blood god." "Are you sure you want to kill me?" Zhang Fengwu frowned, and he waved out a large number of life and death talismans, which was an awakened ability, and directly hit the 8th level president of the beautiful country, as well as thousands of enemies in the rear. "I don't dare to kill people, but it's not difficult to kill people." Zhang Fengwu activated the life-death talisman, and thousands of enemies felt the pain of life rather than death, and the severe itching would continue to superimpose, and only a few seconds passed. The 8th level president of the beautiful country scratched his face. Zhang Fengwu said indifferently, "You guys are very attentive in investigating Zhao Yuan's skills, but you forgot to investigate mine. I seldom use the ability of life and death talisman. If you knew that I have this ability, it would be impossible to get so close. In short, you are finished." Bump. During this time, the blood god blew himself up again. Under the effect of death grafting, Zhao Yuan should have died, but was saved by the invincibility effect. Zhao Yuan opened the battle information and discovered why the pure white shield failed to work. As an SSS level pure white shield, Zhao Yuan should be exempted from damage once, that is, the self-destruct of the blood god can only blow up one layer of pure white shield at most. But death grafting is a continuous skill. In fact, the pure white shield has exempted a large amount of damage, but in the next second, blood god's blood volume is still 0%, causing death grafting to continue to take effect, and Zhao Yuan's blood volume is crazy. However, all judgments happen too quickly. Fortunately, the invincibility effect persisted and could block death grafting. Zhao Yuan opened his mouth and analyzed. 5,000 W players died 120 times, and most of the flesh and blood energy was used to improve the skill priority of the boss and his own rank. The remaining part of the flesh and blood energy should be filled into the sacrificial resurrection, so the boss can be resurrected thousands of times with a high probability, and the skill priority is very high. It may not be possible to kill the boss in a way that prevents it from being resurrected. Yuning also analyzed, these enemies cannot be killed, they can only be tortured, otherwise it will increase the flesh and blood energy of the boss. No wonder we dare to come so close to watch the battle. It is certain that we dare not kill them, and the enemy's resurrection location is set in the farthest guild resident, and the impact of dying once is not too big, so you can escape calmly. Sun Qiu controlled 60,000 Yaojin centipedes, and under Chu Zhao King's group stealth, he quickly penetrated into the brain tissue of the enemy's relatively high-level 60,000 players, completing the brain penetration skill Sun Qiu. Obviously, the enemy in the front doesn't have time to pass the information to the rear, then he was backstabbed, so naturally he wouldn't explain the information about the Yaojin centipede. 7 If you hit the life-death talisman and the brain entry skill, you really can't survive, you can't die. Zhao Yuan doesn't plan to deal with the remaining hostile players. The most urgent task is to find a way to overcome the death graft. Chapter 252 The SS fight is not over. In the previous battle, Zhao Yuan had a total of 15 levels, and 15 golden lights covered him. Because the 5,000 W unit was killed 120 times, the number of kills was very high, so it was no exaggeration to increase the level by 15. Battle information. Kill the target and trigger the talent hundreds of millions of times the proficiency. The current multiplier is 240 times. Killing the target, the total experience value is 2.53 billion, 50 times, and the player's personal level is increased by 15. In the current state, attribute points cannot be increased. A total of 1.3 billion skill proficiency, 250 times, was obtained. Unawakened skills are increased by 50 levels. First awakened skills by 40 levels, second awakened skills by 30 levels, and third awakened skills by 20 levels. The current battlefield points are 156 W points. Zhao Yuan's extreme adaptation has reached the full level, and he can trigger the hundreds of thousands of times proficiency on the spot. Skip the awakening trial. This will be the key means to fight against a blood god of the contract during this period of invincibility. The teammates kept attacking the contracted blood god. This terrifying enemy has a lot of flaws. The movement speed is very general, and the blood volume is only 1.7 at this time. Zhao Yuan was covered by the invincible state, and his teammates attacked the blood god without any scruples, killing it in seconds. The blood god triggers the sacrificial resurrection, which consumes the flesh and blood energy stored in the body and resurrects in place 3 seconds later. Su Guoshu said, within 15 minutes of invincibility, we can consume the enemy's flesh and blood energy as much as possible. As long as the flesh and blood energy stored in the boss's body is completely emptied, it can no longer be resurrected with skills. SSS level extreme adaptation has reached the full level of 100, triggering hundreds of millions of times proficiency, skipping an awakening trial and directly obtaining the awakening effect. Limit adaptation LV 100. When encountering attacks with different attributes, you will get corresponding resistances, and the current resistance stacking upper limit is 1W. The limit adaptation of the 100 level full level, the upper limit of the resistance stacking is 1W points. And the stacking speed is also significantly improved. Awakening effect branch 1, resistance stacking speed plus 100%. Branch 2, resistance stacking limit plus 100% under normal circumstances. Zhao Yuan will naturally choose branch 2 to obtain a superimposed upper limit of up to 2W points, and the potential is higher. But the current situation is critical. Zhao Yuan chose branch 1, and the resistance stacking speed is doubled. In order to fight against the death graft ability after the awakening is successful, the extreme adaptation is prefixed with awakening, and the priority of skills has been increased, and the effect of extreme adaptation has been enhanced by 4 times. Trigger extreme adaptation, link resistance plus 0.2, plus 0.2, trigger resistance stacking time is doubled, and each trigger can stack 0.2 points, so the odds of winning are great. In addition to extreme adaptation, many skills have also been upgraded to the full level, enabling the awakening effect. In the face of Zhang Fengwu's full strength attack, the contracted blood god did not evade, because its speed was average. It was better to stand in place and wait for the end of Zhao Yuan's invincibility period. Zhao Yuan said, the priority of the contracted blood god is strengthened in the skills, so it itself does not have the complete personality of the half-step prince, so the golden plastic skill can fully exert its invincible effect for 15 minutes and will not be weakened. The player's personal level reaches level 147, obtains new skills, triggers eternal blessing, and all skills will remain at the SSS level. Chapter 253 The God of Blood Consuming Death. With the addition of contradictions, Zhao Yuan gained an attack power of 160 million, and 6,000 tyrant tentacles also inherited his attack attributes. At the moment when the immortal realm ended, the contracted blood god exploded, his own blood volume dropped to 0%, triggering death grafting. Zhao Yuan's blood volume also dropped to 0%. Zhao Yuan died, but the phoenix's long and narrow red golden feathers emerged with holy light. Using the resurrection skill, Zhao Yuan was resurrected with full blood. Even if Zhao Yuan is resurrected after death, the death graft is still fixed on Zhao Yuan. The contract blood god showed an excited expression. It still has hundreds of thousands of resurrection energy, and Zhao Yuan will be killed by it soon. Bump. The contract blood god exploded into pieces again. Zhao Yuan had just been resurrected for a second, and his blood volume dropped to 0% again. His eyes went dark, and he died again. On top of his corpse, an angel of light with 12 pairs of wings stood quietly, and Zhao Yuan was covered by layers of flame wings. In the next second, Zhao Yuan was revived with full blood, and the number of layers of angels embraced was reduced by 1. Can you still be resurrected? I can always consume you to death. Although the contracted blood god was surprised, he did not stop self-explosion. Sun Qiayu's thunder bombing paralyzed the boss for 3 seconds. The boss's own priority is not high, so he cannot be exempted from the 3-second paralysis damage. Zhao Yuan took the opportunity to activate the active effect of Tyrant's Wrath. The 6,000 Tyrant tentacles are independent units and will not disappear because of Zhao Yuan's death. At this time, they inherit a high amount of attack power and slap at the enemy guild's resurrection point. Bump. The 5000 W level 0 enemies cannot wear high-level equipment, and their attribute points are also deducted a lot. They are instantly killed by the tyrant's tentacles without any suspense. No one can resist immortality. And Zhao Yuan also activated the Yanhou Windbreaker, which crazily burns enemies within the range. Tens of millions of enemies die in 1 second, and Angel's Embrace only needs 500,000 kills to stack one layer. The number of kills far exceeds this requirement. If it weren't for the fact that the stack limit can only reach 6 layers, there would have been thousands of resurrections. The layers consumed by Angel's Embrace were replenished, the 3-second thunder paralysis effect disappeared, and the boss exploded again. Reduced his blood volume to 0%, and Zhao Yuan's blood volume was emptied again. Zhao Yuan triggered Angel's Embrace for the second time, and was reborn in layers of intertwined flame wings. Zhao Yuan continued to kill tens of millions of level 0 players in seconds, maxing out the number of resurrections, thus forming an infinite number of resurrections. The blood god of the contract was stunned. This has been resurrected hundreds of times? Can it be resurrected? Is he trying to compare the number of resurrections with me? I can resurrect hundreds of thousands of times. It is impossible for him to be resurrected with such full blood. Wait? He has been killing level 0 players. Is this a skill mechanism? You can keep resurrecting if you keep killing people. The contracted blood god quickly understood Zhao Yuan's skill mechanism, which was not difficult to guess, but the contracted blood god had no extra power at all. His only means was to bind a single target, and then die together. Battle information, trigger extreme adaptation, graft resistance plus 0.2, Zhao Yuan resurrected tens of thousands of times, and finally superimposed graft resistance to 9,500 points. At this time, something went wrong with the death graft, and the death graft that could have bound Zhao Yuan showed signs of breaking. In the end, he was completely exempted by Zhao Yuan. The blood god of the contract panicked. Impossible. How could my death graft lose its effect? After death grafting is over, the boss can use this skill again to bind the next target. It chose Zhao Yuan again, and a chain of scarlet light spots touched Zhao Yuan. Chapter 254. The battle is over. Gain 350 million experience points, 50 times. The player's personal level will increase by 1 level. Obtain 120 million proficiency, 260 times. The further down the player's level, the more difficult it is to upgrade, and the experience points required to upgrade are multiplied. Killing a half-step prince level creature can only increase 1 level. 7 Zhao Yuan then controlled the flying island in the air, chasing down the fleeing pretty country players. The winged dragon cavalry, half-blood dragonman, and Yaojin centipede also dispersed, constantly searching for the enemy with the effect of Zhao Yuan's oath. Su Yuxin is transporting the Ravoid ore outside, otherwise his radar can easily capture the enemy's coordinates, Zhao Yuan said. But the dive fighter plane can't go too far beyond him, otherwise the mana supply will not be connected, so Su Yuxin must stay on the dive fighter plane. Su Guoshu said, it's still early, 11 hours is enough for us to chase down the fleeing enemies to level 0, this experience is too exciting, killing all the more than 50 million hostile players back to Novus Village, no one will believe it. 4 hours later, all the players in the 3 million beautiful country were hunted down, and they were resurrected in the guild's residence 3 seconds later. And Zhao Yuan had already dispatched half-blood dragonmen to guard the resurrection points in various guild locations. Immediately after being resurrected, he was instantly killed again, and the cycle continued. After 2 hours, all the players of the hero's side were killed back to level 0, and there will be no rewards for experience points, proficiency, and battlefield points for killing at this time. Zhao Yuan smashed the last guild crystal on the brave side with all his strength, and the battle against the Devil King ended. The hero's guild crystals were all destroyed, and the Demon King won the battle. The Demon King won the battle, will plunder all the guild experience, materials, funds, and arms of the brave party. The experience value of the 30 Brave Fang guilds has dropped to 0 points and has been forcibly disbanded. 900 million guild supplies, 900 million guild funds, 700 million guild experience points have been plundered. Light gold arms 15, purple arms 15. The resident of the Warlords Guild was teleported back to the outside world, and Zhao Yuan looted all the supplies of the Brave Fang. This is so cool. Force the enemy to participate in the guild battle, restricting the enemy from leaving the battle space. Finally, kill all the enemies back to level 0. It's really addictive, Zhao Yuan excitedly said. Guild information, the Guild of Deceitful Soldiers has been promoted to level 8, There is only a little experience value from the 9th level guild, and the next guild battle can be promoted to the 9th level guild. The battlefield standings before leaving are: first, Zhao Yuan 178 W points; second, Yuning 136 W points; third, Zhong Wen 119 W points. However, Su Yuxin and Gong Heron, who did not participate in the guild battle, would not be able to obtain battlefield point rewards, and at the same time, their levels were more than 15 levels behind. Battle information: battlefield point rewards are being exchanged. Have obtained unit reincarnation symbol 6W, pink unit fragments 50, orange unit equipment blueprint, guild building upgrade authority 30, guild devil points plus 20W, permanent guild buff 3, troop transfer tiger talisman 10, battle order 10, battle free card 10, super large prison shackle scroll 10. In addition to the 900 million looted supplies, he also obtained 60,000 yuan of unit reincarnation charms, but Zhao Yuan intends to keep them for reincarnation of pink units. After collecting 100 pieces of pink troop fragments, they can be synthesized into pink troop reincarnation pool, which is still half the amount. Zhang Fengwu said in surprise, "I got 5 pieces of pink arms, Yuning, I also have 5 yuan." Chapter 255 Indigo Quality Phoenix. The growth shield in Zhao Yuan's hand has been upgraded to orange quality, and the number of kills has been met during the battle, but the battle information was too frequent at that time, and Zhao Yuan himself did not pay attention at this time. The progress bar of the number of kills has reached half, and half of it can be promoted to pink. Barriers to despair quality, orange wearing level, LV 120 attributes, physical defense plus 400W, magic defense plus 400W, health plus 1000W, resistance plus 100W, armor piercing immunity 10W, magic piercing immunity 10W. After the promotion, the barrier of despair became thicker and thicker. It was a tower shield of dark purple color, and the surface was inlaid with a dull diamond-shaped gem, and blocking the military shield can also increase the shield attribute by 20 times. Zhao Yuan summoned a black quality phoenix and used the pet evolution stone, a deep gem larger than Zhao Yuan's head flowing out a strong glow. The phoenix absorbed this part of the power and realized the essential evolution. Pet information: Phoenix has been promoted to the anthropomorphic stage, the quality has been promoted to indigo, and new skills have been open. Burning silence applies a flame that burns the source of life to a single target, forcibly reducing the HP by 1% per second, with a cooldown of 1 hour. Burning silence is a single attack ability. Even if a prince-level boss comes, 1% of the blood volume will be deducted every second. The 1% HP of the prince level has at least tens of millions of HP. As a skill acquired after advancing to the indigo quality, the priority is terrifyingly high. Above the pitch black quality is the indigo quality, but the next evolution will have to wait until level 150. The phoenix of indigo quality has soared wildly again, and can crush the previous state at the same time. The body has become more and more magnificent, and it is developing in the direction of mythical behemoth. Phoenix is now in the anthropomorphic stage and can transform into an anthropomorphic form under Zhao Yuan's control. The phoenix turned into thick, sticky red glow. The light condensed into human form, and finally turned into a petite lolly aged 6 to 8 years old. She only reached Zhao Yuan's knees, and her extremely delicate facial features were put together in an unusual harmony and softness. He has red ball-shaped hair, and is dressed in gorgeous clothes formed by interweaving red gold feathers and feathers, and he is covered with complicated and luxurious accessories. My dear, she has turned into a daughter after raising the indigo quality. She shouldn't care about the artificial nirvana before, right? I saw Phoenix Lolly folded her hands, her delicate and soft face puffed up, and smashed Zhao Yuan's knee with a fat fist. Bad master, Zhao Yuan. Zhao Yuan had no choice but to let Phoenix wander around the guild quarters, and teleported out of the guild by himself at this time. The incident of Zhao Yuan slaughtering all 30 guild forces to level 0 has spread wildly on the forum because the event is so incredible. Are you crazy? The demon king of the Xia kingdom actually slaughtered all the 30 brave guild members to level 0. Half of them are level 7 guilds and half are level 8 guilds. How the hell did this happen? There are more than 50 million people, almost 55 million, and none of them can be forced to quit. Another player on the forum said, "It's confirmed, the total number of 30 guilds is 5,400W. All of them were sent back to the novice village, and the novice villages were crowded at that time. It is said that some precious props were used to imprison all members of a guild, and they could not exit the battlefield space within the specified time. There really is such a prop? Doesn't it mean that Zhao Yuan used 30 pieces of this prop? Chapter 256 SSSS Level Self-Discipline Collapses. The next day, Zhao Yuan woke up naturally, got out of bed, and bought delicious food from the system mall. Zhao Yuan opened the team list and found that Su Yuxin and Gong Heron had reached level 120, and the dive fighter had completed an awakening, and its movement speed became faster soon after being able to transport the Ravoid ore back to the guild's resident. Zhao Yuan opened the arena, thinking about playing a few ordinary competitive matches to see if he could meet suitable teammates. The name of the Demon King of Xia Kingdom is impressive and fierce. Most of the opponents were matched with Zhao Yuan, and their faces were full of excitement. Then he was instantly killed by Zhao Yuan's punch, or burned to death by turning on the Yanhua Windbreaker. Every time he wins a competitive match, Zhao Yuan can get a lot of experience points, proficiency, and competitive coins. Zhao Yuan's current winning streak has reached more than 50,000 games. He opened the competitive mall and saw many precious commodities, including fragments of golden units. It's just too expensive, even Zhao Yuan himself can't afford it. Battle mounts, advanced pets, strengthening stones, copper coins, equipment, fashion, gems, and feathers can all be purchased. Zhao Yuan brushed the arena for 3 hours at a stretch, and encountered a tall mage with a graceful figure. She was wearing a one-piece luxurious mage robe, and many star gems were hung and inlaid on the robe. The scepter in his hand was more than 2 meters long, with a sharp golden cross at the top. Shun's has long black hair, graceful facial features, and a proud figure. Jia Meng was surprised. The devil Zhao Yuan? As expected, as long as the winning streak is high enough, even Zhao Yuan can be matched. Zhao Yuan didn't respond, but the opponent's equipment seemed to be orange, and the lowest was the best golden equipment. The winning streak has reached more than 9,000 games. If Zhao Yuan is not encountered, he will soon be able to hit the first order devil mark. Jia Meng's expression is sullen. This may be the most terrifying enemy she has ever encountered, and Zhao Yuan's anti-armor may kill her instantly. Zhao Yuan's anti-armor treatment treats physical attacks and magic attacks equally. This is not some secret information. Zhao Yuan temporarily turned off his anti-armor. He felt that the mage player in front of him was probably an S-level ability user. Zhao Yuan can be said to be the nemesis of mages to some extent. Mages are always of the crispy type. The higher the magic attack, the higher the damage with a frenzy taunt. Most mages will be instantly killed in the first round. On the opposite side, Master Yu raised her right hand, pointing her slender and white fingers at Zhao Yuan, in which the mysterious and abstract patterns continue to extend. SSS level self-discipline collapsed. Zhao Yuan found that the same curse mark had appeared on his body, and it was outlined little by little, and when it was completely outlined, it would trigger subsequent damage. Zhao Yuan instinctively activated the immortal golden body, covering his body with a layer of light golden ki, and his defense tripled in an instant. But the dangerous atmosphere is still spreading. 5 seconds later, the impatient curse mark on Zhao Yuan's body was fully formed. Click. Zhao Yuan's pure white shield was shattered, and the damage was as high as hundreds of millions. This is an SS level attack ability? Isn't this too exaggerated? It should be an SS level skill. Now my dual defenses are exaggerated. Unless it is a special SSS level skill, it is impossible to break a layer of pure white shield. Jia Meng saw that the gray and white shield on Zhao Yuan's health bar was emptied, and murmured, "Didn't trigger the anti-armor ability? Did he turn off the anti-armor ability? Want to see my method?" If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 257 People can't. At least shouldn't. Zhao Yuan opened the competitive mall, and used the competitive coins he had just obtained to buy 300 real attribute points and 5,000 yuan of unit reincarnation charms. With the mark of the 5th Order Devil King, his spending in the competitive mall has been reduced by 25%. The 300 real attribute points are naturally added to the physique. Zhao Yuan felt a strange hot power flowing in the flesh and blood, and his physical attributes had been truly evolved. Even if the Doomsday system disappears, these powers will remain in his body. The reincarnation talismans of 5,000 units were naturally preserved. He opened the Demon Lord Crusade and found that it would take a 3-day cooldown before he could launch the next forced guild battle. A few more hours later, 10 dive fighters had arrived over the guild's garrison. Although Chu Zhaoking's senior group was invisible, they still encountered a lot of trouble along the way. They were all resolved by Su Yuxin and his teammates, and Nuo Da's void ore was placed in the guild's open space. The Guild of Deceitful Soldiers has been upgraded from level 7 to level 8, and its floor area has increased by more than 4 times. The guild, which seemed a bit lively at first, has become deserted and empty in an instant. Although it is a guild building on the flying island, under the mighty power of the system, a large number of rock foundations rose from the ground and were embedded under the Sky City, and then the area of the entire guild residence expanded wildly. As soon as Jia Meng, who is already level 125, entered the guild building, he saw the magnificent scene of the huge void raw ore being transported from mid-air. As expected of you, what kind of ore is this? Void mine. Jia Meng began to check the information of void mine, with a serious expression on his face. The raw materials for building a large teleportation point across the galaxy? Is this void mine related to the alien invasion? Where did Zhao Yuan dig out such a huge void mine? There must be millions of units, right? The other members of the guild also received a new member joining information on the guild bulletin board. The first thing Jia Meng saw was a petite lolly that only reached her knees, with a crimson ball head. Although she had baby fat, she could vaguely see that she would be a top-notch fierce lady in the future. Dressed in luxurious and graceful fiery red clothes, black and white are distinct, and Jia Meng's huge and pure eyes are deeply loved by Jia Meng. How could there be children in this guild residence? Is it some kind of summon thing? Isn't this too cute? Who can resist this? Jia Meng hugged little Phoenix with both hands, and the more she looked at it, the more she liked it. But in the next second, she saw the general information of Phoenix, indigo quality. Holy beast Phoenix? Anthropomorphic stage? What is the grade of indigo quality? I haven't heard of it. Could it be higher than black quality? I just said, how could there be children in this deceitful soldiers guild? Good guy. The beginning is 1,000,000 units of void ore, plus the indigo quality beast Phoenix. This is my real stage. When all the members saw their new teammates, their eyes lit up. This is definitely a top-notch UG beauty, with a proud figure, which perfectly corresponds to a sentence: be fat where you should be fat, and be thin where you should be thin. Women are so difficult. Jia Meng is born with a perfect figure. Not a bonus effect of real attribute points. Zhao Yuan also teleported back to the guild's residence. Seeing that everyone was present, he prepared to speak. Zhong Wen said from the side, Zhao Yuan, you have fooled a new teammate from the arena. Why do you say again? Jia Meng thought in surprise while hugging Xiao Fenghuang. Zhao Yuan, I have to say, this arena is really easy to use. Seeing Zhao Yuan, the anthropomorphic little Phoenix had a pretty face full of anger and was extremely arrogant, and said through gritted teeth, Bad master, Jia Meng, people can't, at least they shouldn't. I didn't expect you to be such a demon king of the Xia kingdom. Zhao Yuan, listen to my sophistry. No, listen to my explanation. Little Phoenix, come here soon. Hearing the master's call, the arrogant Phoenix lolly still flew over in the air, riding on Zhao Yuan's neck, pulling Zhao Yuan's hair. Chapter 258 Resort Villa. Zhao Yuan directly found the career transfer instructor, and said, we chose to start the Abyss level 7 rank trial. Okay, the career transfer instructor didn't say much. Anyway, it has nothing to do with him if someone else dies. A scarlet mottled, rune-dense teleportation door opened immediately. The teams entered one by one, and after a 3-second teleportation time, Zhao Yuan's team appeared in a special room. Rules of the 7-turn trial. The player has become the waiter of the doll villa. Please complete the assigned tasks and survive for 24 hours. Puppet Villa? Is it another horror dungeon? In this room, besides Zhao Yuan's team, there are also many ghost waiters standing. Everyone was wearing gray and white waiter suits, and the evil ghost waiter's skin was pale, as if wearing inferior cosmetics. Click. A figure in a well-dressed suit turned the doorknob and walked in. The nameplate on its chest shows that it is a deputy manager, and it is outrageous that it only has half of its head, as if the upper half of its head has been cut off. The brain above the lip has been cut off, and from Zhao Yuan's position, the brain and soft tissues that are constantly shaking inside can still be seen. The deputy manager said, it's time to start working immediately. Today's guests are extremely distinguished. If you neglect a little bit, the villa will not be able to keep you. Regarding the newcomers, remember to check the work rules. Don't get too close to the guests. Human beings will dirty the guest's eyes. Afterwards, the deputy manager in a well-crafted suit walked out. Zhao Yuan opened his pocket and saw a work regulation. Trial rules. Evil ghosts will be immune to physical attacks and 80% of magical attacks. Please avoid fighting with evil ghosts. The panic value reaches 100%. The player will die on the spot. After successfully surviving, you will get corresponding rewards according to your personal behavior, Zhao Yuan said in the group chat. We are also very familiar with the horror dungeon. You have the oath buff on your body, and it is impossible for evil spirits to hurt you, and the real damage can kill evil spirits. The task only requires us to survive for 24 hours, which shows that the intensity of these evil spirit customers is very high, and there is a probability of death at any time when receiving customers. GMing, it's the first time I can participate in this kind of horror instance. The scare value rule seems a bit troublesome. When the working time came, the nameplate on Zhao Yuan's shoulder read reception, and everyone dispersed, working in different areas. Some entered the kitchen, some entered the cleaning room, and some became the reception desk. Both Jiameng and Zhao Yuan were in the reception group, and they walked to the designated place. Zhao Yuan looked around. This is a magnificent resort villa, with gardens and forest scenery, smoky, and the outside of the villa is blurred. Nothing can be seen clearly soon. A pitch-black car pulled nearby. Zhao Yuan stepped forward to receive them, and found that they were a family of 3, with complicated clothes, exquisite accessories, and slightly pale skin, but their attributes were very dangerous. Devourer quality, priest level, LV 120 HP. 200 million magic value. 1000 W. Skills, Devour, Ghost. All 3 members of this warm family are evil spirits, and they also raise a pet man. The burly male host handed over the car keys to Zhao Yuan. Help me park the car and send my luggage to room D365. Zhao Yuan took the car keys, but he was surprised to find that this pitch-black car was also a ghost, and it was out of his control at all. Chapter 259. The rushing water became louder and louder. Zhao Yuan kicked open the bathroom door. The bathtub was covered by a layer of white cloth, and a pool of plasma inside could be seen through the curtain. Wow! The blood in the bathtub gushed out violently, engulfing Zhao Yuan and the 2 in just a few seconds, seemingly filling the entire room. The 2 of Zhao Yuan immediately fell into the suffocation effect. The rich blood made Zhao Yuan's vision blurred, and the unknown fear filled his heart. Trigger the true oath, and the damage suffered by the friend will be borne by himself. In a state of suffocation, the suffocation resistance is being judged. The judgment is successful, and the suffocation effect has been exempted in the previous battle. Zhao Yuan had accumulated a lot of suffocation resistance, and at this time, he was completely exempted from suffocation damage. Just as Jiameng wanted to activate the SSS level self-discipline collapse, he found that the enemy had been instantly killed by Zhao Yuan's thorns. As a 3-time awakening skill, the priority of thorns anti-armor is too high. This kind of attack will definitely trigger anti-armor. The red-skinned evil spirit in the bathtub has been pierced by 8 real wounds, but it has not died completely, because this room is its territory, and there are additional attribute bonuses in this room. Looking at the dying red-skinned evil ghost, Zhao Yuan asked, "Why did you attack us?" The red-skinned evil ghost was stunned. "It was you who broke into my room first. You broke the rules, and I am naturally qualified to eat you. How can the wicked sue first? Your room? D365 is the reserved suite for other guests," Zhao Yuan said. "This is F365, bro." The red-skinned evil ghost was extremely aggrieved. "How could it be? I deliberately paid attention to the house number. It is indeed D365. Even an illusion can't affect me. My soul strength is too high, and I can directly avoid illusions." Zhao Yuan walked to the door and found that the house number was changed to F365. "Jiameng, I also confirmed the ticket number just now. Since it's not an illusion, maybe it's a problem with the room itself. A dark car may be a ghost. Is there a possibility that this house is a ghost?" Speaking of which, Jiameng raised his right hand. An abstract and extraordinary spell was outlined in his palm, and a horrifying grimace appeared on the wall of the house. Only then did the properties of the house ghost appear in front of Zhao Yuan. House ghost quality, sovereign level, LV 120 HP. 5000 magic value. 600 W. Skills, None. The house ghost felt the threat of death from the curse mark on Jiameng's palm, and quickly begged for mercy. "Don't do it, you have something to say. If you kill me, it is equivalent to destroying the public property of the villa, which is very troublesome." Jiameng still outlined the complete Honkai curse, which was branded on the red-skinned evil ghost and the house ghost. Once the self-discipline collapse is formed, it can be maintained for a period of time, allowing me to start the collapse process from a distance. It's not too late to kill them when you exit the secret realm. Zhao Yuan responded, it's time to go to the real D365. After wasting so much time, this family of 3 is probably going to give us a bad review. Chapter 260 Destroyer. Zhao Yuan's tyrant tentacles have no effect, they are physical attacks and are ineffective against evil spirits. In the same way, Yanho's Windbreaker and other skills are also the same. He summons an indigo-quality phoenix, unleashing the eternal blazing sun. As a divine beast in the sacred, undead, and flame realm, the phoenix's attack is accompanied by a part of divine damage. Therefore, the eternal blazing sun can take effect on the enemy, and the burning ghosts of the whole map have alarmed the entire area. Villa security quality, half-step priest level grade, LV 135 HP. 6001 magic value. 300 W, skills, electric shock. Binding tens of thousands of half-step priest-level security ghosts rushed frantically. In the puppet villa, the death of a customer was a big thing. Many priest-level security captains also appeared one after another. Zhao Yuan started a frenzied taunt and forced all the enemies to control dense attacks were covering Zhao Yuan. Battle information, triggering the true oath, taking damage, reducing HP by 0 points, triggering thorns and armor, causing 1000 W real damage 8 times. When attacked, trigger perseverance, mysterious scale, temporary double defense plus 90 points, trigger extreme adaptation, possession resistance +1. Many evil ghosts were trying to possess Zhao Yuan, but they were all hit by high resistance saves, triggering the thorns and armor, and a large number of half-step priest-level evil ghosts were killed. After Zhao Yuan roughly experienced the process of the horror dungeon, he felt that it was a bit too slow, and it took 24 hours. It may only take 3 hours to kill the doll villa directly. After a little comparison, Zhao Yuan chose the latter. The team members also came one after another, and the little phoenix turned into a mythical giant again, soaring in the air, bringing endless light and heat. Yuning said, my holy aura is aimed at polluting creatures and has no effect on evil ghosts. Suyuxin, in other words, my artillery will have no output. Jiameng took out his 2-meter-long cross-sharp scepter. I am immune to all physical attacks, and only 80% immune to magical attacks, and the remaining 20% is enough. Seeing that the new members were about to make a move, everyone was still looking forward to it. After all, it was the first time they heard about the Hongqiao Master SS level Thunder Element Affinity plus SSS level Self-Discipline Collapse. Self-Discipline Collapse can only be used on a small number of targets at a time, and it has a forward swing before casting, and it is easy to be interrupted, and the range is also very limited. But with the addition of the SS level Thunder Element Affinity, GMN can easily control the Thunder elements within a few kilometers. In an affinity state it only takes 1 second to apply the self-discipline collapse effect to the Thunder element in the air, and the range covers thousands of meters in an instant. GMN applied a collapse effect to the Thunder attribute elements in the nearby air. Similar to atomic fission, after these Thunder attribute elements collapse, they will release exaggerated energy, which is hundreds of times more terrifying than the forbidden spells of the same attribute in the surrounding air. Silver white stars flickered faintly. And then a vast thunderstorm covered the area. Although it can only deal 20% of the magic damage, all the evil spirits within the range were instantly killed. Jiameng's ability is to assist the collapse of SSS level self-discipline, for example, S level flesh and blood affinity, SS level iron element affinity, S level light element affinity, and S level spiritual body affinity. Jiameng can even detonate the magic ability of hostile mages ahead of time. She can be called in existence like a magic destroyer. Most mages will become muggles in front of her. The exaggerated thunderstorm waterfall surprised his teammates. After all, it was instant, and its power even exceeded the forbidden spell. It should be an SSSS level skill. Instant magic, enchanting magic are two completely different concepts. After the thunderstorm washed the ground, the deputy manager, who was dressed in an elegant suit and had 2/3 of his head beheaded, rushed over angrily. Chapter 261 Ceramic Dolls. The priest-level demons turned on their abilities, turned into pure resentful spirits, and rushed towards Zhao Yuan. Possessed. Many evil ghosts turned on their possessive abilities and integrated into Zhao Yuan's body, trying to gain Zhao Yuan's body command. Battle information, affected by the ability of possession, related resistance is being judged. The judgment is successful, immune to the effect of possession, attack, trigger thorns and armor, causing 1800 W real damage 8 times. These priest-level evil ghosts were almost killed in seconds, but there was still a trace of blood. After all, they were priest-level and had a lot of blood. Su Guoshu activated a series of blasting skills. With his fists wrapped around him, he was able to attack incorporeal resentful spirits. Enchanted, 8 or Dungia, Psionic Gathering, Unparalleled Flurry, Immortal Mode, 4th Gear. The consumption of these skills is huge, but the damage that consumes health is transferred to Zhao Yuan, and this part of the consumption of mana is filled by the magic aura. Su Guoshu turned into a meteor, walking on the void, a priest-level evil spirit who swept away the remaining blood with a whip. A straight punch smashed a badly injured customer demon. Zhao Yuan said, "This kind of spiritual enemy, which is extremely difficult for ordinary players, makes no difference to us, because we have a lot of special attacks. There are 2 powerful skills of Phoenix that are not used." Zhang Feng will use the star-sucking method to extract the magic value of a large number of evil spirits, so that these enemies could not use their skills at the same time. He kept shooting golden Buddha seals, severely wounding the priest-level evil spirits, and the ghosts were dimmed. The owner of the doll villa is a female ghost, wearing delicate soft armor all over his body, including his face. Therefore, the facial features cannot be seen, and it can only be seen from the outline that it is a female ghost. The owner of the doll villa used the doll ability. It grabbed Yun Ning from the air. Yun Ning's neck tightened, as if his throat was really pinched by a palm. Swish. The owner of the villa raised his arm and pulled Yun Ning's soul out. At the same time, a beautifully crafted human-shaped ceramic doll appeared at hand, ready to stuff Yun Ning's soul into the ceramic doll. Battle information, triggering the true oath, and has undertaken the doll skill for friendly units. Affected by the doll skill, the soul strength determination is in progress. The determination fails, and it suffers 50% of the skill effect. Half of Zhao Yuan's soul was torn and stuffed into the ceramic doll. The owner of the villa was surprised. "This is the first time I have seen such a tenacious soul. Unfortunately, only half of it has been taken away. The puppet filled with your complete soul will become the most perfect artwork." Zhao Yuan felt that his left body was completely dead, and there was no response, as if the nerves of his left body were cut off, but his right side was intact. "Zhao Yuan, I can't be exempted from such a high amount of soul strength. The priority of the half-step prince-level ultimate skill is high. Fortunately, it does not affect the effect of the skill. As long as the boss is killed before the other half of the soul is captured, the problem can be solved," Zhang Fengwu said. "The ability to forcefully capture human souls and use them to make ceramic dolls is simply too terrifying. If the soul strength is slightly lower, you will be instantly killed," Yun Ning said solemnly. "Look at the doll counter behind the boss. Hundreds of finely crafted ceramic dolls are stored on it." Jiameng also said, "This is the soul permanently imprisoned in the ceramic doll, and it will never be reincarnated. It is a more terrible end than death." Under the control of Zhao Yuan, Phoenix activated the West Emperor Palace domain skills. A layer of auspicious fields expands rapidly, covering the entire resort, and all the evil spirits will suffer high amounts of purification, sanctification, and exorcism damage every second. Chapter 262 SSSS Level Reset. Battle information, killing the target triggers the hundreds of millions of times proficiency, currently 270 times, killing the target, a total of 560 million experience points, 50 times, will be obtained, and the player's personal level will increase by 5 levels. In the current state, attribute points cannot be increased. Please complete the 8th turn as soon as possible. A total of 290 million skill proficiency points, 280 times, have been obtained. Awakening skills increased by 20 levels. Teammates also gained brand new abilities. Yuning got the S-level magic breaking halo, which increases the magic penetration attribute by a percentage. Suyuxin obtained an SS-level air carrier, which belongs to the promotion ability of the previous aircraft carrier skill, being able to summon an air carrier, or called a sky fortress. Needless to say, the firepower of the air carrier is the most powerful of all Suyuxin skills. What Gong Herring obtained is still SS-level sharpness, which fits her one knife line. Su Guoshu obtained the S-level sword furnace breathing method, which is also an explosive skill to strengthen combat power in a short period of time. The player's personal level has reached level 153, and he has obtained a new ability, triggering Eternal Blessing. All skills will remain at the SSS level, and the SSS level reset has been obtained. Reset LV1, SSS level. After opening, All friendly units within a radius of 50 meters will be reset to the state 15 minutes ago. The cooling time is 24 hours, and the skill effect and priority increase with the skill level. Isn't this the group version of history reshaping? Zhao Yuan said to himself in surprise. In the battle just now, by turning on the relapse of history, you can go back to the period when you were not hit by the puppet skills. Zhao Yuan took a closer look at the introduction of the reset skill, and found that it was probably even worse than repassing history. For example, if all teammates die in battle, Zhao Yuan turns on reset, and all teammates will be resurrected. For example, all allies are equipped with horrible skill effects, and if the reset is turned on, all of them can return to their normal state. It's just that the cooling time is a bit long, but this is only level 1, it has not yet awakened, and there is a lot of room for growth. Zhao Yuan now has 2 time-type life-saving abilities, making him even harder to kill. There are invincibility, resurrection, shield, and time reset. How can this be killed? And Jia Meng obtained an SS-level space element affinity, which means that she can collapse nearby space elements in a short time. The simple application is that when the enemy tries to teleport and escape, the nearby space elements will be destroyed directly, and the teleportation will fail directly. This is just the simplest application, and with a little thought, it can exert a powerful effect. Zhao Yuan said, less than 3 hours have passed now, and this is still the time spent in the middle of the puppet villa. If you use brute force to attack from the beginning, it may only take 40 minutes, we can play a 120 level dungeon, or we can choose to complete the jewelry mission, Yuning said from the side. Su Guoshu saw a refreshed message on the bulletin board on the side of the street. Wilderness Prince Beastmaster coordinates 1627, 9786, 4933. Please avoid it. Su Guoshu was surprised. There is also a warning about the coordinates of the Beastmaster. Zhao Yuan spread his hands and said, it's also the first time I've entered a first-level main city, maybe it's one of the defense methods for a first-level main city. Chapter 263 Prince-level Beastmaster? Zhao Yuan opened the mouth and said, after the Blood Moon Goddess descended a little bit, the battles in the national battlefield became calm, so there were basically no major wars in the follow-up. All the countries were hunting and killing the beasts in the surrounding areas to level up. It's not surprising that the beautiful country won the first place in the battlefield points. It is indeed strong enough. The first national sports +3, and the second to fifth national sports +2. The increase in national luck will increase the probability of players from the country obtaining S-level abilities. Although the increase is very small, the accumulation of many national wars will always produce obvious effects. Yuning also opened her mouth to analyze, since the abyss is sealed, is the starry sky also in a sealed or restricted state? It's very possible. Zhang Fengwu nodded and said, the Blood Moon Goddess tried every means, but she could only find an envoy to do things for her. After all the troubles, she could only come down with a consciousness clone. It is said that the seal of the starry sky is still very strong, but there are indeed gaps. Zhong Wen was wearing a gray robe decorated with white bones, and said, after Meng Xiaoming opened the altar, I remember the global announcement mentioned that the Starry Sky invasion will be opened in advance. At that time, the seal of the Starry Sky was opened again. Zhao Yuan finally said, when mining the raw ore of the void, we can know from the mouth of the scarlet light that our planet is like a bright and conspicuous gemstone. Watched by countless polluting creatures, it is precisely because of the contact with these polluting creatures that the scarlet race mutated into monsters. It seems that the Starry Sky and the Abyss will be the themes of future cataclysmic events. Su Yuxin drove the fighter plane and said, this is the coordinates on the bulletin board. There is no ultra-high standard biological energy within the coverage of the fighter plane's radar. Su Yuxin used the SS-level air carrier skill. He took out a mechanical device and threw it into the air in just a few seconds. The mechanical device projected a large number of neon silhouettes, which are the silhouettes of the air carrier. Then an exaggerated number of mechanical particles flowed out of the device, rapidly deforming, splicing, inlaying, and merging together. In the end, a huge air carrier was built. The dive fighter plane stopped smoothly on the first squad of the aircraft carrier, and the team members entered the main cockpit of the aircraft carrier. Su Yuxin turned on the supersized radar of the aircraft carrier. A high-intensity life energy was quickly locked. Zhao Yuan, look in the past. There is a high probability that it is a prince-level beast king. After the battle just now, Jia Meng's SSS-level self-discipline collapse skill has reached the full level of 100. Zhao Yuan signed a real oath quota with her. In Zhao Yuan's hand was a green oath paper, and handed it to Jiameng. Jiameng, what is this? The item whose skill effect appears. Jiameng took a closer look and found that it was the skill precondition of the Eternal Vow buff, so he decisively accepted the Eternal Vow buff. Jiameng said thoughtfully, "This is why you said before that I will never quit the Guild of Deceitful Soldiers." Jiameng instantly understood what the Eternal Vow buff meant, which meant that she could pass the awakening trial without injury. So, the other members have already completed an awakening. Su Guoshu nodded on the side and said, "That's right, although the clone can also get the oath buff in the awakening trial, but Zhao Yuan can remotely disable the oath effect of the clone, then you will be invincible, only if you fight the clone, and the clone can only escape." Jiameng was excited, and immediately started the awakening trial. Sure enough, the shadow with 100% of its own attributes also had the oath buff. But in the next second, Zhao Yuan remotely turned off the buff on the clone, and within a minute, Jiameng successfully passed the awakening test. SSS level self-discipline collapse awakening branch effect. Branch 1, skill priority +1 minute 2, skill release time -50%. Jiameng is extremely entangled. The importance of skill priority is self-evident. Priority +1, she can even use self-discipline to kill half-step prince level creatures in seconds. But it takes a long time before release, and it is the fatal flaw of self-discipline collapse. The higher the intensity of the target, the longer it will take to draw the seal of self-discipline collapse. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 264, Killing the Demon Man. Su Yuxin opened his mouth and said, "The aircraft carrier radar shows that there is no other prince-level life energy nearby, only this one in front of you, but what about the coordinates of the Beastmaster on the bulletin board?" At that time, we just happened to appear near this bulletin board. It is impossible for someone to persecute us by setting a trap, and the bulletin board is not for ordinary people to publish content. Only the high-level executives of Yian City can publish announcements, for example, the city lord, the presidents of the 9-level guilds. Zhao Yuan responded, "It doesn't matter, it's just a prince level. To me, it's the same as the Beastmaster, because I've been exempted from the most terrifying method of polluting creatures." Now Zhao Yuan's abyssal crown plus the pollution resistance superimposed by extreme adaptation are already terrifyingly high, and both of them are awakening skills. The crown of the abyss is about to undergo a second awakening. Humans? Humans will come to the door on their own initiative? "You are here for that thing," the 2-meter-high demon man said. It speaks the common language of the human race, so Zhao Yuan and others can understand it. Zhao Yuan frowned. Although this is the wilderness of the first-level main city, the level ranges from 150 to 180. It is completely understandable for such powerful polluting creatures to appear. There is actually an abyss sinkhole nearby, but what is that thing that the devil man mentioned? The demon man's aura began to become dangerous, and layers of biological energy were unsealed from the body, turning into pure biological energy armor covering the body. "My whereabouts are extremely secretive. How did you lock my coordinates? Are you several other envoys?" The words of the demon man became more and more confusing. It activated the biological energy skill, and the terrifying biological energy contained in its body surged out. Its body's strength has been increased several times, which is similar to the method of Su Guoshu's explosive seeding skill. It consumes a lot, but can get a lot of improvement in a short time. The ground under the demon man's feet was cracked layer by layer. This is because without the use of strength, faults appeared on the ground just by the fluctuation of breath. Su Yuxin controlled the aircraft carrier in the air, and all the thermal weapon systems of the steel fortress in midair were activated. A large number of huge mechanical cannons emerged from the bottom of the aircraft carrier, and infrared locks solidified on the body of the demon man. These mechanical artillery can accurately lock the tiny targets on the ground at an altitude of 10,000 meters, and bombard the enemy without error. 7 At the same time, countless missile launch ports on the aircraft carrier were opened, and long and narrow missiles gushed out one after another, leaving a dazzling flame and thick white smoke trails. Bombing the devilman. Countless large-caliber bullets also shot densely at the demon's body, firing sparks of red gold. The demon man's carapace is harder than steel. The bullets of the aircraft carrier's heavy artillery can only be fired by shells bump. The demon man moved, and it stomped on the ground. As a melee fighter, It naturally got close to Zhao Yuan and the others before it could make subsequent attacks. Iron Hand, the demon man's arm swelled suddenly, his ferocious muscles bulged. And he punched Zhao Yuan. Zhao Yuan turned on the indestructible golden body, increased his dual defense by 300%, and raised a deep purple barrier of despair to block in front of him when the ground under Zhao Yuan's feet sank deeply. The demon man's right arm exploded directly, and his health dropped by 560 million points. Chapter 265 Demon King Showdown. Looking carefully, Zhao Yuan could see light red traces in the grooves of the demon man's bones. The two grooves were irregular rhombus shapes, as if two gemstones had been forcibly taken out of them. Zhao Yuan said, "But why has it been taken out? What does the angel and the thing mentioned by the devil man refer to?" He himself said that his whereabouts are secretive and impossible to be noticed, but the corresponding coordinates appeared on the bulletin board. Battle information: killing a prince-level creature triggers hundreds of millions of times proficiency, currently 290 times. Kill the target, get 980 million experience points, 50 times. The player's personal level has increased by 4 levels, obtain 450 million proficiency points, 300 times. 1 awakening skill improvement, second awakening skill improvement, and as a creature in the wilderness, it should drop items after being killed, not to mention that everyone has a lucky aura bonus, but the prince-level boss did not drop any items after death. However, the corpse has been awakened by Zhong Wen, which is already a great harvest. Zhong Wen held a bone scale scepter and said, "The rank of the prince-level skeleton is too high. After awakening, it only inherits 48% of the attributes, and only retains the skills of Iron Fist and Thunderstorm. This is already very good, because Bone Summoning is only an S-level ability, and it all on the bonus of the skill Halo, otherwise it would not have the current effect." Su Yuxin cautiously used the aircraft carrier radar to detect again, and indeed depends there was no second prince-level creature nearby. Everyone used the teleportation point and returned to Yan City. Zhao Yuan said, "I'm going to have a duel with the Devil King, and strive to raise the mark of the Devil King to the 6th level. Zhang Fengwu said, "The rest of us have almost opened the Demon King arena to fight against the brave players, but with your oath buff, it is impossible to lose." Chu Zhaoqing wore a dark red cloak with a hood and said, "I want to watch Zhao Yuan's competition, and the ticket fee has already exceeded 500,000 copper coins. Yun Ning, what's so good about this? The ending is doomed, and the Demon Kings in other countries will definitely lose their own Demon King marks." Zhong Wen said with a smile, "I'm going to abuse the food with the oath buff. If you upgrade to the 2nd level devil mark earlier, you will get an additional 5% bonus to all attributes." Zhao Yuan opened the arena and entered the duel of the Demon Kings. Many Demon Kings in other countries have put up the immunity card, which can last for 3 days. However, there are still some Demon Kings in hostile countries who do not have battle-free card props. There are few ways to obtain such props, and the price often exceeds the original price. Zhao Yuan took a look at his 110,000 points stored power. When he was fighting a prince-level demon just now, Zhao Yuan actually wanted to use his stored power to attack. But the output of his teammates was terrible. Zhao Yuan didn't even use the skills of Little Phoenix, and the 2 billion blood bars of the prince-level boss were emptied. The contradictory awakening effect is to increase the speed of accumulating energy value by plus 100%, so originally only 5.5 W accumulated energy value can be accumulated, but now it has reached 11 W. After waiting for the match for as long as 5 minutes, Zhao Yuan finally entered the arena of the Demon King duel. This is a battlefield between the devil and the devil. The defeated side will lose its devil mark, and the winning side can get a lot of devil points, so that the devil mark can be promoted rapidly. As before, the Demon King duel field is a towering gray and white round tower with a smoother platform cut out from the top. There were auditoriums all around, and just after the match was successful, streams of data flowed together in the auditorium. The seats that can accommodate tens of thousands of people are filled up in an instant. Chapter 266 The Mark of the 6th Order Demon King. Then Zhao Yuan turned on the wrath of the tyrant, and the star tentacles growing around him took pictures with all his strength, smashing Jack into flesh. Jack was easily killed, and the audience saw a new ability, the star tentacles growing on the ground. A player from beautiful country analyzed, the blood volume of these star tentacles is 2 bars. There is no specific value. It means that it is a special unit. No matter how high the attack power is, it will take a second hit to destroy the star tentacle, but with Zhao Yuan's Vow buff, These star tentacles become indestructible. This is an offensive ability, but how could this Jack die so sloppily? Anyway, it's a half-step prince-level creature. Zhao Yuan knocked out 2/3 of his health with one punch. Even the protector can't do it for a minute. Arena information. Duel wins. Winning streak +1. 100 million experience points. 5,000 W skill proficiency points. 290 times. 2.6 W competitive coins. And 60 W Demon King points. With 60 W points of Demon King, you can be promoted to the 6th Order Demon King mark just by defeating the next Demon King duel. Zhao Yuan hurriedly opened the match for the next Demon King showdown, and the mark of the 6th Order Demon King accumulated by Jack of the Beautiful Country for several years was lost in an instant. Have to restart from the first streak after 15 minutes. Zhao Yuan was really matched with a 6th Order Demon King in Britain. Seeing Zhao Yuan on the opposite side, his face turned pale. I just came out of the dungeon, and I was suddenly forced to participate in the duel of the Demon King. There are still free cards in my backpack that I haven't used. It's over. Am I going to lose my 6th Order Demon King mark? John of Britain thought desperately. Surrender is also considered a defeat. Only if I fight Zhao Yuan, my ability should be able to fight against Zhao Yuan. The audience below the ring changed another batch. After all, 15 minutes had passed, and the new audience grabbed the ticket quickly. In front of Zhao Yuan is a 6th Order British Demon King, wearing a modern-style fashion and without a weapon in his hand, with curly hair, deep facial features, blue eyes, and an embarrassed face. He still wanted to fight Zhao Yuan. Several current players under the high platform discussed with each other. The invisible rule of the arena is that you can't fall out of the ring. The one who falls off the high platform will be counted as a failure. This is John from the United Kingdom. His ability is relatively tricky, and he may be able to confuse Zhao Yuan once. You will die if you try. This Zhao Yuan is like a mad dog, and he will get his revenge. I am completely convinced. I don't even dare to look him in the eyes. I'm afraid that next time I will be forced to recruit a guild battle. He will clear my level. The 3-second countdown is over. Zhao Yuan can be promoted to the 6th Order Demon King mark as long as he defeats the British Demon King in front of him. He turned on the fanatical taunt, the Yanho Windbreaker, the Baron Tentacle, and the orange shield in his hand, ready to give the enemy a chin. John of the United Kingdom uses the SS level 4 streaming ability, which can force the enemy in battle into dream. If your willpower and soul strength are weaker, you will always be lost in endless dreams. But the enemy is Zhao Yuan. John can only plan to drag Zhao Yuan into dream, and then push him off the ring to win and break Zhao Yuan's winning streak. Although John is also afraid of Zhao Yuan's revenge, he has a free card, and the guild also stores free items, and he prefers to keep his 6th Order Demon King mark. John's blue eyes seem to have turned into vortex that could pull away his soul. The eyes became dark and dark, and it seemed that even the light was collapsing into them. Chapter 267 Eternal Night. At this time, it had entered the deep and quiet night, and the clear stars dotted the night sky. Zhao Yuan spent a lot of competitive coins and purchased 600 real attribute points, all of which were added to the physique, 4,000 unit reincarnation charms, all kinds of permanent attribute potions. Among them are potions that permanently increase willpower, perception, dynamic vision, charm, and 4 basic attributes. Although the amount of the bonus is small, it is permanent after all, and the combat power is still greatly improved. Zhao Yuan has the rank 6 Demon King mark, and the cost in the competitive mall has been reduced by 30%. He drank all the permanent attribute potions in one go. These potions were only the size of a thumb, and the liquid inside was only a small mouthful. Take special medicine, willpower permanent +2, perception permanent +1.5, dynamic vision permanent +2, neural reflex +7, charm +2, charisma attributes can be added to illusion skills. The higher the charm, the easier it is to establish relationships with NPCs. Zhao Yuan said in the group chat, the national war is over, and the polluting forces are in them. We need to upgrade the level as soon as possible so that we can have the strength to protect ourselves. Accessory quests and level 150 dungeons are all good choices. Hunting beasts in the wilderness is also a way to level up. Wearing a Taoist robe, Sun Kai looked up at the night sky and said, the astronomical changes are mostly new catastrophic events. Catastrophic events? Did the national fortune rewards reduce the incidence of catastrophic events by 25%? Zhong Wen said. Before long, the global announcement sounded. Global announcement, The expansion of the starry sky barrier is aggravated by human factors, and the power of the goddess of the night has penetrated into reality. The world will enter the eternal night astronomical phenomenon for 3 days. The safety zone and the teleportation point will fail within 3 days. The beast's full attributes will be plus 300% in the dark, and the battlefield rankings have been opened. Global announcement. The 3 consecutive global announcements sounded. Zhao Yuan raised his head and stared. Only the bright stars were left in the night sky, and the bright moon was nowhere to be seen. Eternal night, when completely plunged into darkness. You will encounter unknown dangers, and all attributes of beasts will be plus 300%. Duration. 3 days, Zhao Yuan said with a solemn expression. It turned out to be a cataclysmic event covering the whole world. This eternal night sky phenomenon is too terrifying. Sun Qiyu pointed to the midair and said, not only the bright moon, but also the stars are getting darker and darker, and in the end, only the boundless and quiet night will remain. Zhang Fengwu, dressed in a scholar's white robe, carried a long sword and said, Meng Xiaoming used the lives of tens of millions of people to perform unknown rituals, most of which should be used to tear the starry sky barrier. The rest of the ritual power is used as the traction for the descent of the Blood Moon Mother Goddess. Although Meng Xiaoming died, it aggravated a process of starry sky invasion. Zhao Yuan mentioned the desperate barrier of deep purple metal material in analyte. The global announcement mentions the term starry sky barrier. Isn't it a seal, but a barrier protecting our planet? Now that there are cracks in the barrier, the power of the starry sky can continue to penetrate, projecting an impact on us. Yunying is dressed in blue and white cloth armor, with a meteor-like thing floating around her. This is her weapon, which can enhance the effect of the Halo skill. Chapter 268 Guarding Yian alone. Yian City has a total of 6 9th-level guilds. At this time, the president of a 9th-level guild in the War Channel said, Everyone, a cataclysmic event covering the world has occurred. If we want to survive in Yian City, we must concentrate all our forces together. I have received information just now that in a state of complete darkness, the player will suffer a strange attack. Through the identification of perception players, in a state of complete darkness, powerful creatures will suddenly appear to attack humans. In short, we need to maintain the skill effect of illumination all the time, and the skill range of lighting is limited. We need to concentrate near the city wall to ensure the safety of everyone and the survival of our first-level main city. Another 9th-level president also spoke on the War Channel. This eternal night will last for 3 days, that is, there will be no scorching sun rising within 3 days. It is likely to be a protracted war. Everyone, be prepared. Zhao Yuan also spoke in it. Everyone can concentrate near the city wall. Although the effect of my oath cannot cover the entire Yian city, as long as the people are concentrated and not scattered, I can protect the whole city. Seeing Zhao Yuan's speech, all the players felt incredible, and at the same time they felt a strong sense of security. Zhao Yuan wants to protect the 8,000W human race alone. As expected of the next strongest defender, all he lacks is level and equipment. Several players on the edge of the main city quickly ran towards the city wall. Zhao Yuan's defense is already recognized as strong, and his oath skill is rated as the most desired skill effect by players. We rush to the city wall. Whether we can survive the cataclysm of the eternal night this time depends entirely on Zhao Yuan. Anyway, with our strength, we will definitely be swallowed by beasts with all attributes plus 300%. Players one after another rushed towards the city wall, and Zhao Yuan was already near the city wall at this time. Su Yuxin was surrounded by 10 machines floating around, mapping the nearby terrain at high speed. Su Yuxin said, the other 3 sides of Yian City are moats, and only this wall needs to be guarded. Zhao Yuan's oath is centered on itself, with a radius of 20 meters. You need to stand in this position to cover all players as much as possible. Su Yuxin gave Zhao Yuan an activity area. Otherwise, if Zhao Yuan stood on the city wall, a large part of the pledged skill area would exceed the city and shroud the outside world. Several 9th-level guild leaders also found Zhao Yuan. The president of the mountain beast said to Zhao Yuan, although your defense attribute is extremely abnormal, your current level is only 157. Can you bear the damage of all players? If the beasts with all attributes plus 300% can cause a little damage to you every time, then all 8,000W players are attacked, and your 8,000W HP will be instantly reduced. President Hu Gang also said, if you narrow down the scope of the oath, you can 100% save some of the human race. 7. It may be more important to preserve the fire and hope of the human race. Another 9th-level president added, we don't want you, the next strongest defender of the Xia Kingdom, to fall prematurely. You still need time to grow. The future battlefield of the country is your real stage, it's really not worth it to fall here early, Zhao Yuan responded, don't worry. Hundreds of millions of 0 points of damage are meaningless. Zhao Yuan's perseverance and mystical scale is that every time he is attacked, a temporary double defense is superimposed. In other words, he only needs to survive the first wave of attacks, and he can instantly stack 8000 W temporary double defenses as SSS level abilities. Perseverance and mysterious scale have no stacking upper limit, and can increase temporary double defense without limit, and Zhao Yuan also has Angel's Embrace, Golden Sculpture, Pure White Shield, Rebirth of History, and Reset, these life-saving abilities enough for him to survive the first wave of damage. There is also Phoenix's Realm of Immortality. When the Realm of Immortality is activated, Zhao Yuan can stack a large number of temporary double defenses within 5 minutes. Chapter 269 Crazy Superposition. All the vicious beasts from all directions came rushing in, reaching a number of 9000 W. This is just the beginning, and the sky phenomenon of eternal night will last for 3 days. Soon, the outermost players were attacked by the Mushroom Man's poisonous gas, and all the damage suffered by the 8000 W people was grafted onto Zhao Yuan alone. Battle information, trigger the real oath. All damage suffered by friendly units will be borne by yourself. Suffering from toxin attack, defense and resistance are being judged. The judgment is successful. Immune to all toxin damage. The blood volume is reduced by 0 points, triggering the thorns against the armor, causing 700 W real damage 8 times. Zhao Yuan closed the information bar before the battle started, otherwise the screen would be full of refreshing information, which would make people feel overwhelmed. In the previous battle, Zhao Yuan had already stacked nearly 1 W points of poison resistance, coupled with his own high double defense. The first wave of damage was washed away, and Zhao Yuan was completely exempted, and countless monsters appeared above his head. 0 damage. Puff, puff. The Mushroom Man who activated a poison gas skill was instantly pierced through the body by the real anti-injury, because the attack attribute of the Mushroom Man was not too high, so the Thorn's anti-armor could not kill the Mushroom Man in seconds. But the poisonous gas skill is a continuous damage, and the Thorn's anti-armor is triggered in the next second. As a result, all the mushroom people who attack are killed within 2 to 3 seconds. A large open space was formed, which was the visual vacancy caused by the sudden mass death of mushroom people. The players were ecstatic, because the 150 level creature with full attribute plus 300% could not break through Zhao Yuan's defense. They are under the shelter of absolute security. This is too exaggerated. Zhao Yuan not only bears the damage of all friendly units, but the output he causes exceeds the contribution of all of them. Although we can also fight these strengthened mushroom people, casualties will inevitably occur. In this situation, all the mushroom people will be wiped out in less than 30 minutes. Several 9th level guild leaders also attacked one after another, but they couldn't intervene at all. The Mushroom Man they selected was killed by anti-armor in the next second, turning into a dried mushroom corpse. Battle information, suffering and injury triggers unyielding, mysterious scale, temporary dual defense plus 100 points, plus 100 points. Zhao Yuan's temporary double defense crazy superposition, violent superposition, superposition without upper limit, kill the target, trigger infinite flesh and blood, physique, blues, resistance, permanently increase blood volume by 0.01 points, permanently increase physical defense by 0.009 points. Permanently increase, trigger extreme adaptation, poison resistance plus 1. Zhao Yuan is now getting stronger as he gets beaten, and these mushroom men seem to be superimposing attributes on Zhao Yuan. Yun Ning said in the group chat, since the eternal night will last for 3 days, this wave of fierce beasts is the weakest, and it just adds attributes to Zhao Yuan. Zhao Yuan's ability will become stronger as he fights. Even if there are extremely powerful enemies behind him, they will not be able to break through Zhao Yuan's defense. Zhong Wen turned on the Bone Demon's possession, turned into a 20-meter-high prince-level Bone Demon, and crazily slaughtered among the monsters. The Mushroom Man uses the planting ability, and a large number of spores are sprayed from the mushrooms on the top of his head, falling on the player, and instantly grow a root system, which will firmly take root in the player's flesh and blood. The Mushroom Man's planting ability can plant spores from a long distance, and then use the absorption ability to absorb the health, mana, and physical strength of the spore-rooted target. But these injuries are undoubtedly grafted to Zhao Yuan, and the priority of the 3 awakened true oath is too high. Chapter 270 The Second Wave. On top of black quality is indigo. This mythical beast pet is simply too terrifying, and it has the ability to cover the entire map. A level 9 president said in surprise. Everyone was surprised to find that they couldn't get the number of kills from the monsters, and they were all killed by Zhao Yuan's anti-armor and Phoenix's eternal blazing sun. About half an hour later, this wave of mushroom people was completely killed, and finally gained a rare trace of peace. The illumination technique in midair began to dim, and a new round of illumination light was projected into the night sky, illuminating the area where the city wall was located. Zhang Fengwu drove the flying sword back to its sheath and analyzed. The eternal night will last for 3 days, and the fierce beast tide will continue to launch attacks within 3 days, and there should be dozens of minutes between each wave. In the early stage of the beast tide, players can still kill with the strength of the team. The further back, the stronger the beast, and the player's cards will be worn out in the previous battle. That is, Zhao Yuan can achieve 0 battle damage in Yan City, and other first-level main cities must have caused a lot of casualties. Zhao Yuan responded, if my level is high enough, and the scope of the oath can cover the entire Xia Kingdom, maybe I can protect the Xia Kingdom, but it's too far away. Zhong Wen pieced together a bed with white bones and squatted directly on it. Since it's a protracted battle, I'll restore my energy first. I have to say that with Zhao Yuan's vow buff, you can do whatever you want. This time, the cataclysm of the eternal night covers the whole country. Every country and region has suffered a huge impact in the face of the cataclysm, and the theme of the Doomsday Game is clear again. Surviving has become extremely difficult, but fortunately, the battlefield in the country has ended, and the top forces in the country have returned to reality. The players in Yan City were excited. I've never had such a thigh-holding experience since I entered the Doomsday Game. It's so cool to lie down and win. We are indeed blessed by luck. It hasn't been long since Zhao Yuan entered Yan City. If Zhao Yuan didn't choose Yan City, we might still be fighting against mushroom people now. Where can I be so leisurely now? I have to eat some food quickly. I don't know when the next wave of fierce beasts will appear. Defensive buildings are not necessary at all. Zhao Yuan's vow buff is enough. About 30 minutes later, the densely packed beasts rushed towards Yan City. The investigators of the 9th level guild used their skills to learn the enemy's attribute map from a distance and posted it on the wartime channel in advanced female nightmare quality, sovereign level, LV 150 health, 150 million magic value, 1000 true strength, 9 true physique, 9 true agility, 8 true intelligence, 13 skills, charm, manipulation, gaze soon. Zhao Yuan saw the figures of these enemies. They were similar in shape to human women, with blood-red curved horns on their heads, and twisted in weird lines on their skin. Holding a jet-black short whip, stepping on high heels of the same color, with bat wings on the back. The total number of enemies in the 4 directions of east, west, north and south is 8,000 W. The enemy's movement speed was not fast, but he was already close to the outermost player, and he used the gazing ability after a few tens of meters. And a strange halo flowed in his charming eyes. Players at the outermost edge can't control their eyes to the enemy. Players naturally know to avoid the effect of the skill and close their eyes, but the gazing skill is very effective. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 271 SSS Level Glorious Evolution. The priest players lost their jobs on the spot, because no one needed treatment. All the damage was resisted by Zhao Yuan, and Zhao Yuan himself remained full of blood. All the priest needs to do is to release an illumination spell every 30 minutes, or apply a buff to allies. 40 minutes later, tens of millions of demons were killed, most of which came from the eternal blazing sun of the Phoenix. At this time, it has been superimposed to 7 rounds of scorching sun, which is 7 times the superimposed evaporation damage. Under the indigo quality, even if the Phoenix does not trigger Nirvana, the attribute is ridiculously high. Large swaths of demons were melted, and the entire Yan City was illuminated by blazing yellow sunlight. And even if Zhao Yuan wanted Phoenix to trigger the Nirvana effect, it would be difficult to do it, because Phoenix's basic HP and HP recovery attributes were too high, and he couldn't enter the egg form at all. All the players were completely dumbfounded. Is this a divine beast? I can't even grab a monster, and all the enemies I can see are melted. This is too outrageous, right? This kind of monarch-level creature is no longer a threat to Zhao Yuan's team. Even if all attributes are plus 300%, they are only ants with slightly thicker blood. The sky is too bright. When I look up a little, I feel like my eyes are about to be blinded by the strong light. This is no longer a state of absolute darkness, and another threat of the eternal night is directly neutralized. 7. It's all so dreamy, I wouldn't dare to do it in my dreams. After the second wave of demons were all killed, a thick and rich golden light splashed on Zhao Yuan. Battle information: kill the target and trigger the hundreds of thousands of proficiency, which is currently 320 times. Kill the target, get a total of 1.9 billion experience points, 50 times. Player personal level increased by 6. The current state cannot obtain attribute point enhancement. A total of 900 million skill proficiency, 330 times, was obtained. 1 awakening skill improvement, 2nd awakening skill improvement. According to this progress, all Zhao Yuan's skills will soon be awakened to higher level. The first awakening will be promoted to the second, and the skills of the third awakening are not far from the fourth awakening. 330 times the skill proficiency obtained is equivalent to the proficiency obtained by Zhao Yuan killing a beast for 1 day, which is directly equivalent to the proficiency obtained by killing 330 days. This kind of promotion speed, completing 8 awakenings before level 300, is also normal. After this wave of demons was killed, they gained a period of calm. The members of the 9th level guild even felt that they were paddling, especially a 9th level guild leader with SS level ability, completely unable to understand why Zhao Yuan's team possessed such terrifying power. This is unscientific. Even if Zhao Yuan has SSS level ability, he can't be strong like this, unless he completes an awakening. But an awakening can't pass at all, and it's no different from being sent to death, especially with a sky-defying attribute like Zhao Yuan. A 100% clone is simply fatal, and both sides can't fight no matter how much blood is spent. However, the power of this Phoenix Divine Beast is understandable. After all, it is of indigo quality, with Yuning's halo of rejuvenation, and it can always open up these false scorching suns. The player's personal level has been raised to level 163, and new skills will be obtained. Trigger Eternal Blessing. All skills will be constant at SSS level. Obtain the SSS level Glory Evolution LV1, SSS level. After using it, you can turn on the Glory Evolution of your other abilities, so that a certain feature of other skills can be greatly improved. After opening, deduct 1% of your own blood and mana every second, and there is no cooling time. Chapter 272 Sanctions of the Night. As if the dog eclipsed the moon, the deep night covered the surface of the eternal blazing sun little by little, dimming the hot spots. Yuning looked up at the vision in mid-air and said, "It seems that the eternal Liang can persist for a few more hours before it will be completely covered. If during this period of time, the Phoenix triggers the oath effect, then all attributes can be superimposed by 6 times in an instant, and the night shroud of the goddess of the night can be suppressed again." Zhao Yuan opened his mouth and analyzed. "We don't know much about the forces of the starry sky. Under the last blood moon, we could see a huge one-eyed eye on the back of the blood moon. It is very likely that the blood moon itself is the body of the mother goddess of the blood moon. Then the night covering our planet is also the body of the ever-night goddess." The two turned out to be collaborators. That's right. The starry sky forces have the same goal now, which is to find ways to open the starry sky barrier. The abyss wants to undo the seal of the Cheyenne King as soon as possible, and break free from the center of the earth. Jiameng also participated in the discussion. If these evil gods have attributes, they are just false gods, gods with attributes. As long as our combat power is high enough, even if the abyss and the starry sky are unsealed, we can complete the killing of gods. Zhao Yuan, anyway, get ready, the Evernight goddess is after me, and the level of the next wave of beasts won't be so low. At this time, Zhao Yuan is still trying to glorious evolution. This ability can only select the characteristics of a certain skill, such as skill range, effect, cooling time, priority to increase. Just like the awakening branch effect. 6 hours had passed since then, and the goddess of the night seemed to be concentrating her divine power. Under normal circumstances, the ominous beast should have arrived in midair. The 9 eternal blazing suns were already volleying in the sky, and within 6 hours, the 9 eternal blazing suns gradually became dark and dim. But before it is completely covered by night, it can normally carry out full-scale coverage and evaporation. After another 12 hours, still no beast appeared. Zhao Yuan, this is obviously the Evernight goddess accumulating the number of beasts. Under the limitations of the system, The ever-night goddess can only exert the eternal night sky. The nearby fierce beasts attack according to their own ideas, but now the ever-night goddess doesn't want me to become stronger by killing fierce beasts. It is necessary to drive the highest level of ferocious beast tide at once, so as to kill me completely. Yuan was dressed in a blue and white robe, and responded with worry on her face. I'm worried that the goddess of the night will gather all the beast masters near Yian City. There are 3 prince-level beast masters outside Yian City. Before Yuan finished speaking, the intelligence of the investigators appeared on the wartime channel. Morgan's quality, half-step prince level, LV 170 health. 3.5 billion magic value. 9,000 true power. 60 real physique. 70 real agility. 50 real intelligence. 50 war skills, severe pollution, tear, divide, revive. The desperate voice of investigators came from the wartime channel. 50W half-step prince level Morgan family, and there are some higher level existences, and my detection skills have failed. All the players looked serious. This is a level 170 half-step prince creature. The number of 10,000 is already exaggerated, and there are actually 500,000 of them. And under the eternal night, all attributes plus 300%. Some players worried, this is a deadly move aimed at Zhao Yuan, a half-step prince level with 3 times all attributes enhanced. It's too scary. Can Zhao Yuan resist? A half-step prince with 3 times more attributes can break through Zhao Yuan's defense, right? Even if it can only deal a few hundred points of damage, under the transfer damage of the oath effect, Zhao Yuan will be instantly killed by countless damage figures. If Zhao Yuan turns off the oath effect, there is a great possibility to completely kill these half-step prince-level creatures. Chapter 273, Night Sanction. If it's just a prince level in normal state, I believe Zhao Yuan can still be killed easily, but now it's about to fall into complete darkness. At the same time, a prince class with all attributes plus 300% can definitely break through Zhao Yuan's defense. As soon as Zhao Yuan dies, the rest of us will also die. However, Zhao Yuan also has invincible skills and shield ability, which are all known information. Looking at the Night Army with a luxurious lineup, Zhao Yuan turned on the Frenzied Taunt, the Baron Tentacle, and the Yanho Windbreaker. The Baron's tentacles are grafted on the enemies of the Prince level and half-step Prince level, and the attributes are extracted. All the enemies were ridiculed and rushed towards Zhao Yuan frantically. In the previous battle, Zhao Yuan had already planted 1W Tyrant Tentacles, and this area was the attack range of Starlight Tentacles. These 1W Starlight Tentacles have inherited Zhao Yuan's attack power attribute, and his attack power has become extremely abnormal due to the contradictory ability. Each slap that causes these Starlight Tentacles to inflict exaggerated damage numbers. Zhao Yuan activates the active effect of Tyrant's Wrath. The attack speed of Starlight Tentacles doubles, and the enemy's HP is continuously destroyed. The half-step Prince level Morgans have a 5-meter tall body, standing upright, with blue skin, covered wings with membranes on their backs, and a head that resembles a squid-like tentacle creature, a typical abyss creature appearance. 50W Morgans approached Zhao Yuan crazily, using heavy pollution plus steer attacks. The gigantic body of the enemy grabbed Zhao Yuan and tore him in half, releasing pollution that was imperceptible to the naked eye. Zhao Yuan gently handed out a punch, directly blasting a huge hole in the chest of the half-step prince-level creature. The front and back are pierced, and all the organs are blasted, but this kind of injury has no serious impact on the polluted creatures. Relying on the resurrection ability, it can quickly return to good state. However, in the state of serious injury imposed by Yanho's Windbreaker, resurrection can only restore the damage of flesh and blood, but cannot increase the blood volume. Battle information, suffered from pollution attack, the abyss pollution resistance is being judged. The judgment is successful, and the pollution effect will be exempted. Trigger extreme adaptation, abyss pollution +1, trigger thorns anti-armor, causing 9,000 W real damage 8 times. Since the enemy's full stats are tripled, the counter damage value is also tripled. There were huge wounds on the Morgans, and the blood volume was mad. Zhao Yuan chose to use Glory Evolution to increase the number of Thorns anti-armor counter injury. It was changed to receive 10 counter damages for each attack. The next second, countless Morgan clans surrounded Zhao Yuan and launched a frantic attack. But they couldn't break Zhao Yuan's defense, because in the previous battle, Zhao Yuan had superimposed a high temporary double defense. Even a half-step prince-level creature that is 3 times stronger can't break Zhao Yuan's defense. The Thorns anti-armor was triggered frantically, and a large number of enemies were killed by counter-injury. For a time, Zhao Yuan was surrounded by half-step prince-level corpses. A large number of sticky tentacles on the enemy's head grabbed Zhao Yuan and seemed to tear him to pieces. But still unable to break the defense, triggering the anti-armor effect again. During the period of being attacked, Zhao Yuan's perseverance and the mysterious scale were still constantly triggering. Chapter 247 Rolling. Now Gong Heron's long knife can cut any object just like chopping tofu, without any sense of obstruction. She held the knife in one hand, with a vast mist flowing from the long and narrow knife. She quickly rushed to the prince-level white snake, and slashed wildly self-created knife technique, flurry, clank, Gong Heron slashed dozens of knives in an instant. The attack speed was so fast that he couldn't see his hands and long knives clearly, only the blue mist that was constantly shuttling. Each knife cuts out a dazzling blue knife gang, cutting everything it touches in half. The prince-level white snake is a human boy with pale skin, long silver hair, and scarlet vertical pupils. Its hair and tails were connected together and stretched continuously, transforming into a long white snake, and the prince-level white snake's nervous reflexes and terrifyingly high physical strength, with its expressionless face constantly moving around, easily avoided all the knives that Gong Heron slashed. 8 seconds later, Gong Heron was panting continuously, cold sweat appeared on her forehead, and her physical strength was severely depleted. But he didn't hit the white snake with a single blow. Now it's the white snake's deadly counterattack. Sure enough, all attributes have increased by 300%, including nerve reflexes, dynamic vision, perception, and movement speed, Gong Heron said to himself. In this state, it's not surprising that I can easily evade my flurry of dances, and White Snake is an agile beast master. Fighting alone, I only have a 40% chance of winning, but with the oath buff on my body, the probability is naturally 100%. Not to mention there are teammates. Just when the white snake formed by the hair tail of the boy with red pupils was about to devour Gong Heron, Su Guoshu rushed towards the white snake with a violent expression, fighting together. Battle information, charge +2, +2. Zhao Yuan has accumulated a total of 320,000 energy points, which he plans to leave for one of the 3 prince-level creatures. Half an hour later, the 500,000 half-step prince-level enemies were all killed, and Zhao Yuan's blood volume did not decrease at all. Because the temporary double defense at this time has been superimposed to 2 billion. The more attacks Zhao Yuan suffers, the higher the temporary dual defense will be. In theory, it can be used infinitely. But the duration is 24 hours, after which it will gradually dissipate. Therefore, the half-step prince-level attack can't break the defense at all. If it is not superimposed on the temporary defense, Zhao Yuan may still have some fears. But when it is superimposed in the middle and late stages, Zhao Yuan has no worries at all. What's more, there are still a series of whole cards that have not been used. Layers of golden light shrouded Zhao Yuan, teammates also one after another, ordinary players were stunned. I didn't lose any blood in the whole process. Even if Zhao Yuan was broken once, I wouldn't be so shocked. As long as the level increases, Zhao Yuan will definitely be the strongest defender in the whole world. And his output is ridiculously high. It's also lower than the indigo quality phoenix. Is this really being targeted? The more targets Zhao Yuan, the stronger it becomes, but we can all get through this catastrophe safely. It's great. Zhao Yuan's oath buff is simply the most powerful buff in the world. With the oath buff, it is equivalent to having full-time control-free, invincible, anti-armor, pain transfer. That's outrageous. Zhong Wen naturally replaced all his bone summoning items with half-step prince level ones. He stared at the remaining 3 prince level creatures with fiery eyes. These are all his summons. Chapter 275 Divine Skill Heaven Person. The skeleton fly evaded the attack of Zhao Yuan's team with a super high speed, and activated the soul arrest skill. The skeleton laid inside the neck, opened its mouth and took a sharp breath. Zhao Yuan felt that his soul was gradually leaving his body. Battle information. Suffering from dementia attack, judging willpower and soul strength. If the judgment is successful, you will be exempt from the influence of dementia. Trigger Thorn Anti-Armor, causing 9,000 W real damage 10 times. Trigger Extreme Adaptation, Dementia Resistance +2, +2. Not only was the attack of the skeleton fly ineffective, but it triggered the Thorn's anti-armor many times, emptying its blood volume. Zhao Yuan could be said to be flawless now, and any attack in front of him would be difficult to exert its full effect. Use Extreme Adaptation to grow for a longer period of time, and all kinds of special resistances will be superimposed to 2W points. Unfortunately, the indigo quality phoenix is hard to kill even at the prince level, otherwise the nirvana effect can be superimposed once, but it doesn't matter. This is probably the last wave, and the power of the Evernight goddess to penetrate into the world is almost exhausted. I don't know if there is any way to repair the star barrier, but this should be considered by the 4 major guilds. My current status is still too low. Zhao Yuan sprinted in front of Coxcomb Dragon, choosing to consume 330,000 energy storage points, and his right fist was surrounded by a rich golden light. The outline of the dragon's head can be vaguely seen wrapped around Zhao Yuan's fist. Attack with full power. Zhao Yuan blasted out with all his strength, hitting the huge body of Coxcomb Dragon. Boom. With one punch, there is no god, and the world is calm. Zhao Yuan's punch added 2 billion attack power and 330,000 stored power. A punch blasted out, forming an exaggerated air wave that spread for thousands of meters. The Coxcomb Dragon's body was directly pierced through a hole, and the carcass slammed into the nearby wall frantically. A huge ravine was left behind, causing significant structural damage. Nearly 10 billion blood volume was killed with one punch, and the initial blood volume of these prince-level bosses was around 3 billion. After increasing by 3 times, it was 9 billion, which was instantly emptied and turned into Zhao Yuan's battlefield points, experience points, and proficiency. Zhong Wen hurriedly went up to release the bone call, and successfully awakened a prince-level bone Coxcomb Dragon. In the next second, the inflated scaleless white snake swallowed Zhao Yuan, and Zhao Yuan punched several times from the inside out. His attack speed was very slow, and he couldn't do 1 attack per second, but under the terrifying attack power of 2 billion, a hideous hole exploded on the scaleless white snake's body. Then Guang Heron cut off the huge white snake's head with a single blow. But the blood volume of the white snake itself has not decreased, and it seems to be a different unit from the silver-white long-haired boa constrictor. Jia Meng said, I noticed from the very beginning that the white snake's hair tail skill can transform into a terrifying scaleless long snake, and the long snake is invincible. No matter what damage it suffers, it can recover in a short time. The long-haired white snake is injured, and the blood volume will not be deducted from the main body. Speaking of which, Jia Meng was surrounded by terrifying psionic fluctuations. She activated S-level spirit body affinity plus SSS level self-discipline collapse. Jia Meng locked on the soul of the white snake, and engraved the Honkai curse seal on the opponent's soul. 7 seconds later, the white snake's struggle was futile and he couldn't touch Jia Meng at all. Bump. Like gorgeous fireworks, the white snake's soul exploded completely, and 2/3 of its blood bars disappeared immediately, dealing close to 6 billion damage. This is the terrible thing about choosing priority +1 when the awakening self-disciplines collapses. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.